In this part now, I'd like to introduce a poem that was probably the poem that supported me the most when I had a very major depression at 18 years old. We're talking like almost 2 decades ago. This poem has never left my life, and I love to share it as a part of these deeper Auset or Isis teachings. This poem was found in a cave in Nag Hammadi, which is here in Egypt, around the 3rd or 4th century BC, which is a long time ago. And the poem goes as such. Perhaps you read it already. It is found in Paulo Coelho's book. And to me, it is one of the most significant poems. So maybe you want to listen to it with your eyes closed. Just allow yourself to relax and receive every word. For I am the first and the last, the venerated and the despised. Venerated means the glorified and the hated. I am the prostitute and the saint. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the mother of my daughter, and I am the arms of my mother. I am barren, and my children are many. I am the married woman and the spinster. I am the woman who gives birth, and she who never procreated. I am the consolation for the pain of birth. I am the wife and the husband, and it was my man who created me. I am the mother of my father. I am the sister of my husband, and he is my rejected son. Always respect me, for I am the shameful and the magnificent one. This poem contains within it all the forces of nature at work. The masculine, the feminine, moving in and out. I am the mother of my father. It is my man who created me. I am the daughter. I am the mother. It shows that in essence, energy is always in a flux, in and out of one another. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the prostitute and the saint. Now let's just bring our focus on that. Isn't it so easy to shame a so-called loose woman and be all saintly? Our religions have programmed us to do that for thousands of years. Ooh, that is a highly sexual person. Oh, this is such a noble person. Oh, look at that person, such wonderful manners. Oh, look at that person, terrible manners. Oh, look at her, she has all these babies. She must be so fertile. Oh, look at her, she never had children. Something must be wrong with her. Wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? Oh, this is right, right. Well, this poem shatters it all. All of it. Our concepts, our beliefs, our programming, our perception. This is man, this is woman, this is the right thing to do, the wrong thing. This is so saintly, this is whore behavior. This complex whore saint exists in most beings I've met, and I've been in containers with hundreds of students. And many of them face that really deep inner conflict. I want to do what I really want to do, but if I do that, I will be seen as a whore. If I do that, I will be punished. If I decide as a woman I don't want to have children, I won't be a woman. If I decide as a man I don't want to be a husband, I'm something wrong with me. There's always something wrong with everyone. Well, this poem, in a way, throws it all up into the air. I am it all. I am the shameful and the magnificent one. Not I am the shameful one and I am okay at something else. No, I am magnificent. I am the magnificence of all creation and I am the shameful one. All this division has been through centuries of really deep conditioning into the hellish and the angelic realms within us. what was nature realm, the chthonic, the great mother realm of nature that is brutal, animals eating animals, decay, disgust, smell. All that is an aspect of nature. It is an aspect of our nature. It is the body in a way of the great mother. Well, that was considered so disgusting and so frightening, for she would swallow us at night, swallow us, and we would move through her body until she gave birth to us again in the morning. This is the body of Nut. We'll discuss that another time. And yet, this terror of the great mother created this division. The angelic. Some were lofty, some were ethereal, some were pure in the sky, and everything that is nature, everything that decays, everything that feasts and eats, and sorry, mind my language, everything that shits and everything that fucks is disgusting. Well, as we want to work, if you really want to walk in this path with Auset, it's a path of embracing the polarity, the duality with non-judgment, and allowing her and her mighty power that is also death and destruction, that is also the terror as well as the beauty, to welcome it as an aspect of your naturalness and authenticity. This poem shares about that. I am it all. And what are we judging? And what are we judging in others? So the big question here now is, what parts of you do you reject because you find them disgusting, deformed, out of order, unacceptable? We all have our little quirks, our little kinks, those little things that we want to hide. And oh my God, if it would come out and anyone would see it. Maybe there's something in yourself that you find actually quite repulsive, revolting even. I don't know if you relate to that, but I know as a young girl, I used to find parts of me disgusting and I didn't know why. Because I was so programmed to believe that everything that was good in the world had to be saintly and pure, and I had to be an angel. And in some ways I was a total angel, but in that I disconnected myself from something that was also my deep power that lingered in my natural self, in my hairy legs, in my bleeding vagina, in my pus and my shit, in the parts of me that had wild, crazy fantasies and desires, and I would judge that, and judge that, and judge that, and on the surface be this perfect angel, but inside there was something inside of me that was so wild until I had to completely break out through what the world saw as a mental illness. Now, in your own way, it will be your own version of the story, but maybe even for you, it can be as simple as, I am revolted by the wrinkles on my face, or I am terrified of my graying hair, or I find actually having my period every month disgusting, or as a man, it might be your ejaculate. Oh, I have to quickly clean that off and throw it in the bin. I can't have that. I can't have anyone see that. I shouldn't leave it on, It's like I have to scrub it off. Maybe after sex you feel a little bit gross, whatever it is. Maybe it's bad smells. Maybe there's something in your life that makes you feel like, ew, that's disgusting, or that's revolting. And because for thousands of years, what was the marriage of our brutal nature with our angelic cosmic self, which is actually the essence of the ancient Egyptian shamanic path. The Greeks later came and transformed that. The Greeks later decided that the feminine Athena was born from the mind of Zeus, from the intellect of Zeus, and thus began an entire civilization, began in Athens in Greece. That is the foundation of the entire civilization we still live on to this day. Rather than be born from, sorry, mind my language, the pussy of a mother, covered in blood and in the whole process of birthing and the screams of birth. She was born from the mind of the father and the intellect. It changed our civilization, and thus began the great mother, left our civilization until today. Where is she? Where is she in the money systems? Where is she in our civilizational values? We bring everything into intellect. Everything has to be put in a perfect box. Well, if you want, and as you are choosing to walk the path of Auset or Isis, we walk the path of really reclaiming back our earthy, brutal, elegant nature. It is elegant and it is brutal. It is both. It is divine in its queen kingdom, but it sits on a throne made of moss and flowers. It sits on a beautiful tree stump and roots. It has the birds and the bees, but also the shit that gives fertilization to all of life. It welcomes it all into this biodiverse, beautiful ecosystem that is life. So one thing that gets to me is when when parts of Auset or Isis are shared in the world, that it becomes this golden dimension of 5D realm, and we forget, or it is forgotten, the essence and the root of her work. Her work is the reclamation of all the parts. She says, welcome home, honey, just the way you are. Just the way you are worthy to enter this gateway. And that worthiness is not going to come from anyone telling you that. It's going to come from her whispering that inside your heart, which is you, your mature aspect. When you have, in a way, become your own great mother, able to hold your parts together. So whatever in the past looked like a womb or a vibrating trauma is actually a part of you that is simply knocking on the door saying, hey, do you love me? Can I be loved? Am I safe to be loved here? And that part of you that is doing this Auset work welcomes that part and says, oh baby, yes, you are so welcome here. So take this in, listen to the beautiful voice recording that's coming, that's really going to look at what are the parts, your rejected parts that you are rejecting, and to welcome that back into you so that you live a life rich, like a rich ecosystem, a beautiful wild garden. Your life becomes a wild, beautiful Eden, not in your fantasy, not in the afterlife, here on earth, now.